Hi, I'm Leo, and this is
Cooper.
Cooper. Where are you from?
I'm from the United States.
Whoa, cool. Welcome to Taiwan.
Thank you.
So how old are you now?
I'm 20 years old.
So what motivates you to learn Chinese? To come to Asia, like Eastern culture?
Really it was, I am interested just in languages and studying languages. I think it's one of the best ways to learn about a culture is to learn their language and everything. And so I was learning Italian and then also Chinese as a second language, or a third language, I guess. And I originally thought that Italian would be my main language and then Chinese would be sort of the secondary language that I learned, but I ended up liking Chinese more. And so I decided to stick with it a little bit more.
So what did you learn from this journey, like Chinese learning?
Yeah. I mean, apart from language, I learned a lot about just sort of how people over here treat life and how they interact with life, how they interact with their environment, with other people. It's quite literally the opposite side of the world from where I am, and so like I can't get farther away from a culture that's like Taiwanese culture. And so it's interesting to see all the differences, but also some of the similarities between where I'm from and.
So how do you think is the pros and cons between maybe Western culture and Eastern culture?
Western culture and Eastern culture. I think Eastern culture has a larger emphasis on community and friendliness and politeness and integrity, I would say, compared to Western culture. Where like being in an area such as Taiwan, it feels like a group of people rather than a whole bunch of individuals, it feels like where I'm from in America, it's very divided where there's one group of people, one group of people, one group of people, one group of people, as compared to here where I feel like everybody feels pretty united. I would say it's refreshing to be in an area like this, in a culture like this. So.
And I heard maybe in US college, most of people, they will choose to move to other states to expand.
That's exactly what I did. A lot of people will go to different states just to be somewhere new. I mean, the United States is a pretty big country, so you can go to a different environment, culture, ecosystem, stuff like that. You can go somewhere new while still being in the same country. So a lot of people do that. But
so which state do you live now?
So right now I live in South Carolina, which is where I go to for school. But I originally lived in Virginia, which is a little ways north. So.
What's the difference? Are there a lot of difference between maybe West US and East Coast?
So I've only been to the West Coast once, so I couldn't really tell you about the West Coast, but where I grew up was more in the north of the East Coast, in like New England and stuff like that, and then where I go to school is in the South. And definitely in the North, everyone is much more isolated. Nobody really talks to each other. So like if I went to the store or something and it would be almost impossible to strike up a conversation with someone. Versus in the South, where I go to school now, it's not uncommon for me to have 10 or 15-minute conversations with strangers just because I say hello or something. So.
Because I think maybe Asian people, we will have a stereotype of American. You are so open-minded, so every time you will have small talk with maybe random people.
Yeah. It's definitely not everywhere. It's not all the time. In fact, I would say it's a very small percentage of the time is when you actually have a conversation with someone. But the difference between the North and the South is noticeable. when you go there, just in terms of how friendly people are. Granted, depending on who you are.
So when you came to Asia, have you tried maybe to open a small chat with other people?
Yeah, actually, I think I've met more people here just by by studying here and studying abroad. I think I've met more people from back home, from other places in the world than I have, at home.
So what's your future goal or dream?
Personally, I'm in theater design and production and stuff. And so I would like to do something in theater, sound design or sound engineer, audio technician work, stuff like that. I think it would be cool to do an Asian tour for either theater or a concert or something like that. Because there are several American bands or American productions that will travel here.
So anything surprise you, like in Taiwan?
So I just recently tried Taiwanese stir fry, and it's a lot of food that I've never eaten before. Snail, pig liver, chicken liver, kidney, stuff like that. Duck intestines, things like that, and I've never tried them before just because the US doesn't really have that stuff. And it was all fantastic. It surprised me at how good it was. Once you got over the mental block of what you're eating, but actually eating it, it was very good. So yeah.
So in the future, would you like to maybe move to different countries?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would love to live outside the US for a little bit just to experience something new. I really don't know where, but
maybe Europe, because you say you study Italian. So
yeah. Somewhere like Europe. Europe would be fun. Really anywhere. I would even love to come back here, honestly. This has been one of my favorite experiences. So yeah.
So I feel most of people, they look up to US culture very much. They want to maybe live there, have an American dream. So I don't know, as an American, how do you feel about a lot of maybe people, they want to immigrate to US?
Yeah. I mean, I think different places are right for different people. So definitely some people might find that America is the place for them. But there's pros and cons to everywhere. There's ups and downs to everywhere that you go. So it's just about being aware of those and making a judgment call for yourself about whether the place that you're living is right for you. So
if maybe you can change one thing about US, how would you change?
I think I would like for people to listen to people more. A lot of the time discussions can end up as arguments. And I feel like everybody could benefit from listening and then speaking, rather than just speaking. So.
But how come you are so young, but your mindset are so mature? How? Yeah, really. So
Probably.
Is it because of American education systems or Western? Because I feel like Westerners, you are also independent in every way. So just so curious.
Yeah, I would say, at least for me personally, a lot of it is with how my parents raised me. Because school, the American education system will only teach you so much. It'll teach you how to do math, and it'll teach you science, and it'll teach you things like that. But it was really my parents that taught me how to think for myself and how to take in what other people are saying and determine whether that was something that I wanted to believe as well. And so I give a lot of credit to them.